Welcome to Unfinished.
It's so hard to say goodbye to what we had. We are wrapping up the first season of Unfinished with a very exciting and special subject. You're probably thinking, but wait, how can it be over already? I thought this was unfinished. We kicked off the season with a bang singing Holiday. It will be alright.
Holiday. Hey.
And we got into it about the experience of growing up Somali in the GTA. Shoutouts to all the Anjera and banana eaters across the world. Then we walked into a heated discussion about beauty and character. After that, we got deep in the jungle with our favorite undisputed champ of the jungle, the Somali jungle cat. Known for their quick feet and extremely witty nature, the two male jungle cats got out unharmed. Deciding to take a break from all the action, the two male jungle cats stopped for a moment to discuss their first love, sports.
Woo.
After a pause, we got into a time machine going back to dial-up internet, 3XL t-shirts, and hugging the block.
You know how that goes.
Splash! The tide hits you smack in the face. What do? Do you let it take you? Or do you keep on pushing through to get to the shore? Wait a minute. Did you hear that? I think the phone's ringing. Who could that be? It's got to be the love doctor.
Woo!
I must have pocket dialed him. He's always dropping gems. I wonder if he's still taking patience. Put the phone on Do Not Disturb. We're about to go down a rabbit hole on social media. Should I post this pic of my girl Gali on the beach?
Yes or no?
Or the one she's striking her favorite pose? Let's put the phone on silent for a moment, because how many brothers fell victim to the streets? Rest in peace, young brother.
There's a heaven for a G.
That's why you should never pick up a gun. No one man should have all that
power.
So what did Somali women do? They came, they saw, they conquered. The real question now is, how bad do you want it? Because to get what you never had, you got to do what you never, ever did. And you cannot do that without screaming, I am the greatest. Because if you do not believe in you, how can anybody else? All those things cannot be reached if you do not take good care of your most valuable asset, your mind. And ladies and gentlemen, that is a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Join us on one last smooth stroll down this Bella Brick Road as a lonely nomad. Don't forget to stay till the end. We have a very special surprise event we will be revealing at the end of the season finale.
The journey of life can be filled with amazing experiences, laughs, failures, and hardships. But as a Muslim, Allah perfected the religion for us and blessed us with something very unique and special. Is it the 5 daily prayers? Because part of the adhan is Hala ala falah, when translated means come to success. Or is it the pilgrimage to Hajj, which is the direct invite from Allah to His house for worship? But that can be it, because not every Muslim gets to experience that. Then it has to be Ramadan. Ding, ding, ding. Winner, winner. Chicken dinner. But you can't have no chicken until after the sunset. Nomad and Bella, why is Ramadan so important? We're about to get into that. But before we get into that, Mr. Smooth has, a season recap. We had a long season. We had a lot of moments that, were controversial. A lot of moments that sparked, table talks outside of Unfinished. So, Smooth is in the public, in the public eye. People come to me and they go this was said and that was said, and what was behind that? You guys went really quickly over that. So I have one question each for both my co-hosts.
Let's get it.
So who would like to go first?
Way to put me on the spot. Of course, me, because I'm Bella Big Deal. So
Okay. Bella Big Deal. Okay. So during our episode about beauty, right?
Absolutely.
You remember it. You remember that episode well, because you had
it was 2 against 1.
You had a whole
very
dictionary full of answers. You had a thesaurus. You had all of it. You had a book. You had your glasses on. She doesn't wear glasses. That day she wore glasses.
Hit me.
That day, you said some, and a lot of the males.
Wow.
You know what I mean? That listen to this podcast. Shout out to them. Shout out to all the homies, all the real niggas that listen to this. Had a question for you.
Okay.
Okay. So you said a statement. You said,
I always say, don't quote me.
No, you've been quoted.
Damn, all right.
You've been quoted.
All right, hit me.
So, the man want to know.
Okay.
When you said men shouldn't have an opinion on beauty, what was that about?
men shouldn't have an opinion on beauty. Okay, there's a different context to this, okay? You can see it in a different perspective. My perspective is a man should not have an opinion on beauty when it comes to how I beautify myself. So if I choose to, let's say, I like to wear red lipstick. If I'm dating you and you're like, I'm into girls that wear nude, red is just too much of a color for me. That's a turnoff for me. How are you telling me how to do my makeup? Like, to wear eyelashes or not. You know, a lot of guys say, oh, I like a girl with makeup, but I don't want to notice that you're wearing makeup. I didn't go to Sephora and pay $200 for makeup for me to be incognito, okay? I came here to show out. So what I'm trying to say is, yes, you could have some sort of opinion, but I'd rather not hear it, personally.
No, but like
I think talking about beauty as in like beauty standards, maybe, I don't know, like, oh, I want you to cover up, it would be better for you, things like that, yes. But you're not going to tell me what shade eyeshadow to wear because it's too dramatic. Sorry.
Yeah, what if the homie likes that eyeshadow, that color?
It's giving me very feminine vibes.
No, it's giving me preferring vibes.
It's giving me very, very feminine vibes. It's like me telling you, you be wearing your J's all the time, but why don't you wear LeBrons? I don't really like Jordans like that. Jordans overplayed.
Girls do that. They do that though.
No, they need to play their role, slow their role. I think a man should be worried about himself. He should not be worried about what length are my eyelashes. It's just corny to me, man.
Eyelashes is too much, but like if the man likes the red lipstick, he likes the red lipstick.
The longer the better.
No, I don't know about all that. I don't give a damn about eyelashes.
We believe as women there's a time and a place for everything. Again, I don't go to work wearing dramatic makeup. I don't even wear makeup to work. And some people don't feel like that's fitting. A lot of women, through societal pressures, wear makeup to work. They say that it's unprofessional to even show up at your job with no makeup on. I just want to sleep an extra hour. But best believe if I have somewhere to go and I want to look presentable, you're not going to look at me crazy and be like, is that green eye contacts? That's not your real eye color. Why do you care how I want to look?
Maybe the man's trying to swerve and he likes you.
My physical features don't change, so you shouldn't be too worried.
I mean,
you know,
man will like what they like. So what's your answer on it? What's your main answer?
My main answer
you said a lot of things.
It's giving me very feminine vibes for a guy to be obsessed with how, like, you can make a suggestion, but like you don't get your opinion really doesn't matter personally for me.
So it doesn't matter to Bella, but it matters to other
women.
No. It matters to women. It matters to women.
We actually can't in the group chat. If you talk about my eyeshadow,
What? So in the group chat, what do you say? Like,
I'm telling you, this is a live experience. A guy said it to me. He said, "Oh, you're very pretty, but your eyebrows, you make it too thin." He said it to me one time.
Yeah.
And I looked at him. No,
Yeah.
it really ruined my entire outlook on this person. I was just looking at him, and I'm just like. So after that, I couldn't even listen to anything else because it was.
With
just
you, men can't have opinion about.
Keep it in your head. Leave it with your homeboys. I don't want to hear it. The girlies don't want to hear it.
Okay, so fellas. Her answer is she stands on what she says.
Absolutely, 10 toes
She's
down.
not switching it up. She's saying, I do what I do, and this is who I am. So thank you for that.
Absolutely.
So now, Brother Nomad, I'm not going to lie to you. The female community has been in back rooms having large debates about one statement that you said. And like, I feel like when you said it, you didn't mean it in the sense of how they're thinking. So the question is, right? They said, you stated that a woman doesn't become a woman until she has a child in one of the episodes. So what they're saying is, how about the women that, due to natural causes and all that, can't have children?
That's a very, very good point.
So they want to know.
So when I stated a woman becomes a woman when she's married, this is something that I've learned from older generation Somalis. A lot of people, if they're talking to their moms or their dads, they always tell them, girls, that you become a woman after you have kids. And that's because something that's more important for you, not saying that your life is not important, but that drive that you get when you have a child takes you to a whole different level. And I personally believe the most powerful entity in this world is a mother. That's why I'm saying that you don't become a woman until you have children, because that drive that mothers have, there's really nothing in this world like that. And I wish that every woman gets that opportunity to become a woman. There you go.
Yeah. So you meant it in the sense of once you become a mother,
once you become a mother, that drive that you get takes you to a whole different level. Because you see a mothers, they're going. They're doing 1,000 different things. Keep going. They do get tired, but they're just pushed through everything. Yeah. And that's what makes mothers special.
Yeah. So you meant it in the sense of the mother. So ladies, you got your answer. Anything you want to add on, Bella, or
when you asked these questions, you said, "Oh, people might have taken it out of context."
Yeah, exactly.
But when it was my turn, right?
Yeah.
You didn't say people.
No, I said the mandem. I said the mandem. I clearly said mandem. Right, I didn't say women thought Bella. No, it was one sex, and it was the male sex that had some questions for Mrs. Bella. Okay. You feel me? Okay. So you know what I mean? Smooth the Liberator and People's Champ and the Voice of the Streets gave you guys the questions. Is there any questions you guys may have for Smooth or no? Or can we, get into the Ramadan?
Did the love doctor find a partner yet?
Did the love doctor find love?
Because if not, I got a few,
That's we're gonna talk about that off camera, but at the moment, the love doctor.
What happened to being your still, authentic self?
Okay, you're absolutely right. So the love doctor is still taking patients all year long. You know what I mean? We're looking for
this month.
Yeah. This month of Ramadan, 30 days. We're taking a break. After 30 days, Ba'dal Eid. You know what I mean? My number, you know what I mean? You can get it from Bella. You can get it from Nomad. You know what I mean? You're going to find it on a poster later on in the year. I don't know where, but you'll find it. I'm not hard to find. The love doctor, I'll be giving out cards after the season. So, yeah.
Let's get into this episode. Why is Ramadan important?
Ramadan is the most special month of the year. And when you look at Islam itself, Islam is not a religion. People look at it and think it is a religion, but it is not. It's actually a way of life. Allah perfected it for us to guide us through the unfinished journey. And He gave us an anchor, which is called Ramadan. Every year, you have 12 months through the year. But that 30 days is an opportunity to cleanse your mind, body, and soul. Ramadan is part of the 5 pillars of Islam. And when you look at pillars, what does pillars actually mean? Pillars is structural support. So when you look at a building itself, you have beams on the sides. And those beams on the side of the building are what keep the building grounded. And that's what these 5 pillars mean. So when we look at Ramadan, it's a 30-day period in the entire year that allows you to push you back on track. Because let's be real, the year can be chaotic. You can go through a lot of different challenges. You can go through a lot of different things. But those 30 days give you an opportunity to remove bad habits and also gain new habits if you are focused. So, Bella, why don't you kick us off with why is Ramadan important to you?
Okay, so I can a lot of different points as to why Ramadan is important to me, but I'll start off by a story or something that's happened to me in the recent week at work. So one of my roles is to do the scheduling for the staff on my floor, and without really getting into what I do, part of my job again is I schedule these employees, and so one of them actually called me one day and was like, "Hey, I want to go from full-time to casual." Now when I hear that, usually it ruins my day because now I have to replace her with a full-time person. Usually doing a nurse in charge, it's pretty hard to do something like that. You're giving me more work. I don't want to do it. And so I asked her, I said, I try to bargain with her. I'm like, "Oh no, it's down pay. You're gonna lose benefits. Now, why'd you want to go do that?" And so she goes, no, I have to immediately. You have like less than 10 days to do it for me. Like, change it. And then I know the employee personally. I was like, "Hey, what's going on? Is everything in the family good?" Because anything could be happening at home. Sometimes you want to. You also have a personal relationship with your colleagues, right? And so I was like, "Hey, what's going on? Is everything okay at home?" And the sister is a Muslim. And she was like, "No, nothing. Thanks for asking. No, alhamdulillah, everything's good at home." She goes, "Next month is the month of Ramadan." And she knows I'm Muslim too, right? So I'm like, "Of course it is." And she was like, "I can't work night shifts because this month is for him." And she said, "I don't want to overwork and under worship." Because as a night nurse, you know what happens in hospitals, right? It's a lot of things to deal with, right? And she said the job that she does takes a lot over her mind, her time. She's a wife, she's a mother. She said, "I do this all year round And I put almost everything second when I do this job, because obviously it's a lot to do. And she said, this month is for him. You know, I don't know if I'm ever going to reach Ramadan again, if I'm even going to finish this Ramadan. So she said, I've never actually thought of switching my status, but I have to do it. Like, this Ramadan is telling me. And wallahi, it woke me up in a sense, because I feel like with the pandemic, working in hospitality, you're already overworking yourself. We're here, we're doing overtime, we're picking up these shifts to help your colleagues to excel in your skills, and you want to obviously get somewhere in your career too. And you could do that, but if it's in the cost of under worshiping, then we have a problem, right? And so I got a spiritual awakening from that little conversation I had with my employees. Work, in general, it pisses us off. We swear sometimes because I'm so angry, but when Ramadan comes around, I'm just like, I'm fasting. It just brings something out of me, fam. It just brings this sense of goodness, like, you know? And I feel like Ramadan is so important to me because I see myself, like, what I'm capable of, you know? People always call me in my house, they say this, she becomes the Ramadan Muslim. I mean, I'm Muslim all year round.
Well, you know, that's a very, very good point.
But people, they call me the Ramadan Muslim. So I don't know. Do you guys know what it is, the Ramadan Muslim?
Yeah, 30 days. That's a very, very good point, because that 30 days is meant for that. Mm-hmm. Like, we all get caught up that 1 month is an anchor to pull us back. Because you look through this journey of life, it's a long marathon. It's a long marathon, and you're going through different aspects of it. So you do get to experience a lot of things. But that 30 days should be dedicated to your Lord. And the importance of why Ramadan is important is because those fasting allows you to cleanse your mind. Smooth, why do you find Ramadan important to you?
For me, Ramadan's important. Throughout the year, right, we go about our life. We do whatever we may do. You know what I mean? We live life however we live it. You know what I mean? But the Ramadan gives you a moment to stop and reflect. And it also makes you, I feel like, appreciate what we have. Mm-hmm. Because every Ramadan, right before Ramadan, we lose a lot of Muslims. We lose a lot of people. And those same people all thought that they would make it to this Ramadan. They had a plan that, if when I make it to this Ramadan, I'm going to pray, I'm going to make up for the year I had. Mm-hmm. You can plan, but Allah is the best of planners.
Absolutely.
Like, I could tell you guys right now that, I plan to do my 30 days. I don't know if I'll get that chance. Inshallah, we all get the chance to do that. Right? But Ramadan gives you a chance to reflect on things like that. It gives you a chance to slow down life. Because life is going really quickly all year long. Oh, yeah. And I feel like when Ramadan comes around, like, you connect with your family. You connect with your friends. You see who really loves you and loves the religion during this time. Like, I have homies that all year long could be running around, do what they do. But when it's time for Ramadan, they're not playing. They're first line at the mosque. They are praying every prayer. They're at Jum'ah. They try to get every prayer in the mosque. And these are some guys that, if you guys saw them in real life, you'd be, these fellas are kind of scary. But you don't know nobody's relationship with God. You can't judge nobody's relationship with God. You don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? I can't tell you anybody's story. You can only have your own story. So this time helps me realize that this gives me a chance to reconnect with my Lord, reconnect with the religion, reconnect with my family, and I feel like it brings a lot of joy and happiness around this time. I feel like Muslims are the most happiest around Ramadan time, because your mom's in the kitchen, your aunt's in the kitchen cooking, the kids are running around, everybody's talking, you're all praying together. You'll have your whole household, like maybe you have a house of 8, 9, 10, 15 people at your house, and all those 20, 15 people are being led in prayer. And you're all doing that together as a Jama'ah, like as one. You know what I mean? I feel like it's the best time to connect with Muslims. And Ramadan, for me, is always a great iman boost. You know what I mean? Because we all need that. Like, my iman, you know what I mean? I have highs and lows just like everybody else. And alhamdulillah, these are the times for you to connect.
Reflection, right?
And reflect, literally. And just get that chance to build habits, as you said, and hopefully have those habits trickle into your everyday life. once you start praying these 5 prayers, you may not pray them all year, but you pray all 30 days, 5 prayers. Guess what? You're building a habit.
Absolutely.
Then you'll be able to do that all year long. Now, all year long, you're just praying all your 5 prayers. You know what I mean? So this is a good time to build habits and break bad ones.
You know, when you mentioned that a lot of brothers don't get the opportunity to see another Ramadan. Allah nahris to all the brothers
And sisters.
that have passed away.
All Muslims, yeah.
Right before Ramadan, you start noticing people dying, and during Ramadan, people die. And it's a reminder that tomorrow is not promised. You don't get the tomorrow. Only thing that really exists is today. And when it comes to Ramadan, you have a 30-day window to actually anchor in. But the most important thing when it comes to actually benefiting from anything in life is you should begin with the end in mind before you even start. And Smooth, you always talk about chipping away at things, right? So when it comes to habits, how do you set goals to allow you to break down the big complex things? Because let's be real, when it comes to praying, a lot of us have difficulty actually praying because it's overwhelming with the day-to-day stuff that you're going through, and we tend to forget that the shaitan's coming at us all the time. Sometimes you're gonna get a call, you're sitting down, you're thinking, oh yeah, I'm about to pray right now. Guess what? Your mom just called you, she wants you to go to the store. Or you're about to you think about praying and you're like, okay, let me go use the washroom and then I'm gonna pray. You go to the washroom, you forget to pray. You see? So this is just a reminder that the shaitan's always tricking you. Not everything that you go through on a day-to-day is you actually doing it with your intention in mind, right? We are being influenced all the time. So how do you break down in the entire goal into small steps to allow you to chip away?
I feel like in that sense of chipping away and making like goals by a bit, like just start with like little goals, like, okay, today, like even if you want to record it, if you like, you can write it down, you can record it, you can do whatever you like, but like be like, okay, today I prayed 2 out of 5 prayers. Okay, what was the reason why I didn't pray the other 3? You look at it. If you just sit down and you look at it, be like, okay, Hoya called me, I left the house. Oh, I used the washroom, I forgot. You're human, right? But if you write these things down, okay, today I prayed 3 out of 5. Okay, what happened in the other 2, right?
So just journaling your progress.
You can journal it, right? Because at the end of the day, we have time. You know what I mean? This is a time to reflect. This is a time to set goals. We set goals on everyday life. In everyday life, we set goals. We do things we may have never thought. We go, we get a degree. We go, we get a job that nobody thought we could get. You know what I mean? We go, we grind. But the religion is the same thing. It's a grind. It's the same thing. If you look at life and religion the same way, like, don't think these little goals that you're setting in life can't be little goals set in your religion.
Absolutely.
Right? Everything in life is going to take work and progress. But how hard are you willing to work? That's what matters. It doesn't matter about what the work is. Like, I've done things in life where people thought I could never do, and I did it. So don't let that be an excuse. You know what I mean? So just different things, whatever works for you. If you need to write it down, if you need to journal it. And also, what I feel like also helps is a good friend group, a good support system. If your family is looking at you and say, "Oh my God, you're praying," you know what I mean? That's not positive reinforcement. You're like, if your family looks at you and says, "Oh my, okay, she prayed today," they say, "MashaAllah, you should keep this up." That's positive encouragement. Absolutely. You know what I mean? If you see your family member that doesn't pray and they're praying, encourage them. Positively encourage. Don't be like, "Oh, you pray?" No, don't do that. Don't put them down for that. Pick them up for that. Be like, "Oh, you prayed today? I missed I'm gonna get in. You reminded me today of prayer."
Leading by example.
You know what I mean? Lead by example, and like always positively reinforce the religion. Don't ever make it a negative. Don't ever put anybody else down for them trying. You know what I mean? If you see a sister that doesn't usually wear a hijab and doesn't usually go to the mosque and she's doing that during Ramadan, and you're a sister that does that all year long, go to that sister and say, "MashaAllah, like, I appreciate you coming. You know what I mean? It's good what you're doing. Like, we should do this more." Encourage her. Absolutely. Because encouragement is going to do more than you belittling her. "Oh, you know where the mosque is? You're here? You wear a hijab?" She has her own battles. You have your own battles. Don't ever compare yourself to someone. Help. As Muslims, we're supposed to help, uplift and help each other. You know what I mean? Be positive. Just positively reinforce your Muslim brothers and sisters. Like, that will help so much. What you got to say, Bella?
I feel like with me personally, sometimes we have to speak about our own nafs and stuff like that. I feel like I approach Ramadan first by looking at the importance of this month, right? When you look back, like the Salafs, they used to pray that they reached to the month of Ramadan. They used to make a dua every single night to reach Ramadan, so that you already see how heavy it is. Then 6 months after Ramadan, they used to pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Ramadan was accepted from them and that they reached the next Ramadan. So it's a continuous cycle of just making it to a month. So when the Prophet or the Quran, there's like a little hadith about stuff like that and the importance of Ramadan, it has to be an eye-opener for us, right? Something has to, like, your eyebrow has to be lifted, or like you should be like, oh, why is this month, like, why are these people praying to see a specific month? I also look at time and the fact that, exactly how you said, in Sha'ban, the month before Ramadan, so many people pass away. Or within the month of Ramadan, some people don't even make it. So now it's a race with time, right? So the reason why they call me a Muslim Ramadan in my house, and the crazy thing is I don't really do much in Ramadan that I don't do the whole year. I just take my sin ratio very serious. Like, you know, I come in, I don't want to hear no music, like, you know, weird stuff that I do on a regular day. Like when I'm cleaning, I obviously listen to music. Like, you know, I don't shy away from my sins, but I make sure everybody in the house knows that it's the month of Ramadan. And I like how you were saying you want to encourage people, and sometimes I feel like my approach is not really encouraging. I'm one of those people, I come with a wrath. It's not happening. Like, I used to be like, nope, it's not happening. Take it over, take it somewhere else. We could break our fast. Somebody's watching, like, I don't know, Love and Hip Hop. I'm saying, turn it off. We just fasted the whole day. Like, I used to annoy my entire siblings to the point that they would tell me, Wallah, they would say, go to Tarawih with my father. Like, they would just leave the house. They used to be so annoyed of me because I was the Ramadan police walking around. What are you doing? What are you doing? You know? And then, like, I didn't know how annoying it was until I seen how it could push people away. You know? Instead of encouraging, you know, everything you were saying sounds encouraging, right? Yeah. When I'm telling somebody, yo, you rather sit here all day and watch TV, but you don't want to go to Tarawih. Oh, you want to walk, I seen you, Habib told me this is where you were. I got to a point where my friends were turning off their phone, didn't want to tell me their location because I'm in the group chat clowning. And it became like, you know, you're not getting any ajr and you're not even taking the mass with you. Wallahi, you're not taking nobody with you on that energy, like, you know, oh, it's Ramadan, you don't know it's Ramadan, you don't know it's Ramadan. Like, it's just like, Ramadan is a peaceful month. You have your goals. Some people, the little that they're doing is enough because they just got here. Yeah. Them praying salah, them fasting day to day. I used to tell people in my group chat, certain mans only fast 8 days of the 30 days, you know? And it's just, I was doing it as a joke, but there's nothing funny about people trying, you know? And that's a fault that I take for myself, inshallah. And sometimes when you advise people, you have to first reflect on how you are as a person around people, right? And so that's something I'm working on. Also, the idea of reading the Quran, fam. Like last year was my first year in having a COVID Ramadan, and I'm a very avid masjid goer when it comes to Ramadan. Again, Ramadan Muslim. Like, if I could, I'll do my 30 days there. My nieces, alhamdulillah, are almost finished the Quran. They're half my age. MashaAllah. My sister did a really good job on them, and with the help of her husband.
Shout out to them.
Wallah, they're amazing, and it just showed me how much I lack in like that area. You know, I would go to their house and they would lead in Tarawih, and they would be like, oh, the witr, the last two rak'ahs, and the last two, the last two like witr like prayers, they'd be like, oh, give it to Bella, let her lead, because they're shy away, you know, when somebody's your like when somebody's your elder and like you look up to her for everything in life, you just want to be like, you know, give her a chance. Yeah. Fam, I used to try just you know. I was so embarrassed, you guys. I used to revise before I got there that night, just so I, you know, like I could set a good example. But again, you know, we're all fighting our own demons. We're trying to be a good example, and so don't knock yourself, I think.
Of course. Yeah. And even with that, like how you said your nieces and all, they're like, you know, almost on the Quran, all that. Like, they have more knowledge in that sense. So you sitting with them as their habrir and saying, hey, habrir, come, let's read Quran together, and them reading Quran and helping you learn, it's not a bad thing. You You know what I mean? It'll bring you back.
It's not bad, but they laugh.
No,
they laugh because they feel afraid.
No,
You know,
of course,
intimidation is
of
like,
course,
I
no.
don't
But
want-
that's what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
you just gotta make them comfortable and be like, hey, listen, wallah, habari, like you're such a good person, and you're such a good soul that like what you're doing is so great, and in this area, you're better than me in this. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
In life, we all want our children, our nieces, our nephews, everybody younger than us. We always want them to be better than us. I feel like that's our goals.
Wish
We
for
want
good,
them,
wish for
yeah.
yourself, yeah.
So we want the younger generation to be better than the generation before them.
Facts.
So that the fact that they're doing that, and you look at them and say, "Wow, mashallah, they're so good." Like, encourage them. Be like, "Hey, come, Habib, let's sit, let's read the Quran together." You know, things like that. Those little things, because that builds their confidence too. They're gonna be, my Habib Bella wants me to teach her Quran. What, like, she's gonna feel like a big woman. You know what I mean? She'll be like, I'm helping out my Habib. My Habib that I look up to, that is everything for me. You know what I mean?
There's benefit both sides.
That's what
when
I'm
it comes to
saying. You know
that.
what I mean?
That's
That's what I mean by the family aspect of this. You know what I mean? You connect with your family and find out things like that and be like, damn, like, yo, you know, they're doing
I
good.
remember even
You know
when
what I mean?
they started getting discouraged because my sister would call the neighbors and we would fill the house. Now it would be like 9, 10. I mean, no regulations for for COVID regulations. But at that point, it was just when it was beginning, right? So we didn't know how alarming the situation would be. And so they started fighting, getting too shy. So they're like, no, it's not happening. It's one thing to do it in front of the aunts, but to do it in front of neighbors, now they're fighting. So my sister goes, please, go talk to them. So I come into the room and I tell them, whoever leads the most, like from the 30 days, right, is gonna get an amazing Eid gift. Now imagine 4 girls fighting. I'm going. So it's like sometimes, you know, when you guys have younger siblings or children, show them give them initiatives during Ramadan. That's the best way. You know, sometimes when the kids are young, they need something in the end, right? Like a gift or something. You know, imagine my last year of high school. You think I wanna lean in front of a bunch of Javiers?
Yeah.
Actually, I lied. I'd be like, of course. I love that kind of attention. Actually, absolutely. I would have started from Taha.
That's a very, very great point. That you sometimes you just need to encourage other people. So as you can see, there's 2 different styles we have here. You have Bella, who is Mrs. Pac-Man. She's going to attack. And then you got the smooth criminal over here who's actually going to support you with just encouraging. There's different strategies, but both will lead people to advising them to the truth, right?
Always.
And that's the most important.
The goal is the same.
The goal is the same, right?
Always.
So there's no right and wrong. There's only choices when it comes to it. And when it comes to Ramadan is broken up to 3/3. The first 10 days is a time for mercy. So what does that mean? That you should be spending the first 10 days not only just fasting, but also remembering the poor, helping the elderly, also helping the youth, trying to understand things. There's so much things that you could do in the first 10 days. But then you get into the second part of Ramadan, which is forgiveness. This is where the time where you seek the forgiveness of your Lord. And Allah looks to forgive all of the Muslims across the world when it comes to the middle part of the month. But the last 10 days is the most important and the most valuable. Why? Because you have an opportunity to be freed from hellfire. This is a time where Allah chooses every single year people that were written to go to hell and takes them and they're going to heaven. Can you believe that? The opportunity, just one Ramadan, 10 days can literally take you to heaven. You can be in this world for 67 years. And if you hit Laylatul Qadr, which is in the last 10 days, a special night where the Quran was revealed. And that night is equivalent to 1,000 months. How much is that in years? That's 83 years.
Do the math.
That's a lot of time, right?
That's a max.
If you look at
That's a max.
yeah,
That's the max.
that's the max right there.
That's
You're
the
right.
max.
Yeah. So
Jackpot.
the highest life expectancy amongst mankind, all of the world, is Hong Kong, and their life expectancy is 84 years, and that's basically a whole lifetime.
Yeah.
One night can get you a lifetime of prayer. That's unbelievable,
Absolutely.
and you can get that opportunity if you choose to do it today, not tomorrow, not yesterday, but today. And when it comes to Islam, it's a beautiful thing. It's a way of life. I always preach Somalis are the most righteous. We do crazy stuff, but at the end of the
He
day,
has to throw that agenda. I love it. I love
but it's
it.
true. We love to have fun, but at the end of the day, we do not play with the religion
We don't.
at all. So you gotta appreciate the good aspects of the Somali community and the fact that when you're at home with your family and you get the opportunity to eat that hot sambus, or you get that first sip of water. You gotta appreciate it. The malawa. All of these things are things that you need to appreciate. So when it comes to goals, there's something you should very much remember. The most important thing about when you're trying to attack a goal is you gotta appreciate the small things. Like Smooth says, chip away. Little victories gives you that self-confidence boost to push you through that tide when you're going through the life, you know? And now let's move into what we can do during Ramadan that would make it valuable for us. Bella talked about Quran, and something that I would love to do this Ramadan is read a chapter a day for 30 days. That's not easy, but that's something I would love to do.
That's
You know
amazing.
what I mean?
That's amazing.
And
That's a good goal to have, man.
some people, it would be one verse. Don't look at it like you have to do everything this Ramadan. But the first thing you should do before Ramadan is seek the forgiveness of your Lord and ask Allah to guide you, because you don't get the choice. Allah chooses who benefits from Ramadan, right? So what are things that you feel would be beneficial for Ramadan this year?
I had 2 goals last year. I like the whole idea of like planning out your Ramadan, because I feel like, especially now we're in the work field, we're doing this and that, time could come and go very fast, and then you don't even know. 1 week looking into it, you're already 10 days in, and you know, I haven't planned what my goal is this year yet, but I will talk about a goal I had previously. And so the last year Ramadan, we were staying at home, and again, doing tarawih with my sisters. I actually, as you were saying, sit down and read with the kids, read the Quran with the kids. A good point that Smooth brought up. I actually memorized Surah Kahf with them, because I didn't know Surah. Like, I always knew Surah Kahf, but I would read it from like the translation, just the English, right? And so when you look at Surah Kahf, like, it's something that we're supposed to be reading every single Friday. It's our obviously like our Jumu'ah ritual. And so I thought, like, okay, since I have this time in my hand, what is a goal that's very small? And I thought memorizing Surah Kahf is very small. It was not small, especially when a 9-year-old's trying to teach you. All day she's like, you can't do 1 page? What's wrong with you? And you know, the intimidation was in my neck. I'm not even gonna lie. You guys don't think I get shy, but let a 9-year-old try to tell you that's not Kahf. It's serious, man. So, wallahi, whatever the goal is for you, I try to do a goal that's very important and that's going to last a lifetime with me, right? Also, the year before that, I usually try to get myself into going to Tarawih. My father, actually, a very, very pinnacle person in my life during Ramadan, actually. He and me would be Tarawih partners. So he would always take me to Tarawih. So when he moved back home a couple years ago, all my siblings are looking at me like, okay, let's see if she's going to take herself to Tarawih by herself. So the first day of Ramadan came, I had my iftar and I said, deuces, I'm going to the masjid, you know? And so sometimes when you get habits, goals become into habits, you know? So this year, I don't have any goals yet, only because I was really praying, and I heard we're still kind of open with the masjids with like about 10, my masjid's open for 20% in the women's section, so I'm hoping to still try to get some masjid time.
Inshallah.
And then maybe I'll figure out my goals then.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Me, for myself this year, inshallah, I'm just going to try and get my 5 in every single day for the 30, and then move that into my everyday life. So before even Ramadan, I'm trying to build the habit now of getting my 5 in. So inshallah, by the end of it, the 5 will just become like water. It'll just become like second nature. And just have that timing and everything down where I just know it's that when it's dumb times, I just pray no matter what I'm doing, no matter where I am. Because there's people in the world that pray in the worst conditions in the world. They go through a million things in life that I will never experience, and hardships that we all will never experience. And they still find the time to pray to their Lord. And inshallah, I get to that place with myself and my religion.
You know, like about remembering what's good of any aspect of your life and trying to focus on the 5 daily prayers it's not easy. It's not easy. It's a daunting task, and Allah chooses who He guides, right? And when it comes to hardship, everybody goes through hardship. The ones that are successful are the ones that don't say, "Why me?" It's the ones that say, "Okay, there's a lesson here. I got to take a step back. What's going on? I got to figure out why am I in the situation that I am today." Sometimes it's your fault. Sometimes it's Allah nudging you, telling you, "Yo, get back to where you're supposed to be," right? And I remember my mom telling me a story today about this lady who was very righteous, and she was praying a lot, and she ended up losing her daughter, a young daughter, and during that time she was going through it, and she had a lot of things going through her head. She didn't understand it, but then she realized that she loved her daughter more than she loved her Lord, and her Lord saved her from the hellfire. Does that make sense? Like, Allah sometimes takes somebody away from you because you love that person more than your Lord, you know? And we get caught up in our day-to-day that we forget the reminder of death. So I wanted to tell you guys all know about Kobe Bryant, right?
Yeah.
And Kobe Bryant's story, he was one of the greatest competitors in history, you know? And when you listen to his story about attacking goals, in the NBA schedule, they practice 2-3 times a day, within the day, right? So Kobe Bryant, as a young man, 18, 19 years old, he comes into the league. He sees that everybody's practicing 2 or 3 times. He said, "You know what? I'm going to wake up 4 a.m. at another practice." He grinded. He said, "I'm not good right now," but he pushed through. He ended up becoming one of the greatest players in history, right? He spent his entire life dedicated to the sport. He did not party. He did not do anything else except play basketball. He ended up losing his life last year, January, right?
February.
February, and he died at the age of 40.
You know.
Yeah, that's my
Of course,
guy. Kobe, that's my guy. That's my guy.
Wow.
He died at the
I
age
hate it
of
had to
40,
be
right?
him. Yeah.
Around 40 years
Yeah.
old. So let me ask you guys a question. So he died at the age of 40. Do you remember the day before he died? What happened? LeBron James broke his scoring record.
Yeah, he did.
So what does that mean? Allah's telling you. That's a message from Allah. He's saying this man spent his entire life focused on basketball, and he saw his accomplishments taken away from him before he died. Before he died, he spent 40 years chasing something.
Damn,
And
what
he
a good
lost it.
insight.
He lost it, just like that.
So does that mean LeBron is better than Kobe?
That's another debate.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
So-
another debate.
When you gotta remember that within everything in life, there's a lesson to it. So we talked about why Ramadan is important. We talked about how you can benefit.
That's a dope insight.
And we also talked about what are specific things that you can do. But none of that is important without remembering that Allah is the most powerful. Allah chooses who. So unless you humble yourself like Bella did, 9-year-old kid who's gonna teach her the Quran,
I have humble bones in me.
Yeah,
don't I?
yeah, she got some humble in her.
you know, or
Some humble.
Smooth deciding to pull himself back and focus on himself to get his 5 daily prayers, you're not getting nothing in this world. You're gonna have to take a step back and focus on yourself. Selfish is good sometimes. You gotta be selfish in a sense where you gotta save yourself from the hellfire. Nobody's gonna save you from that. What you choose in this world is up to you.
Also, I feel like you have to see what drives people. Drive is a huge thing. You know how he's saying right now, Kobe Bryant, he always had a target goal. Everybody knows. I don't even look at stats like that, and I know like how determined Kobe Bryant was from when he was young. Just looking at highlights, listening to your brothers and stuff like that. You know. Sometimes I used to be. There's a time in my life I was forced to go to the masjid, right? When you're young, you're like in your high school, your parents are like, masjid, you know? And then you look at these sisters that are not forced, or you look at these brothers that just the love of Allah drives them somewhere. You get it? And I used to look, I was talking to my first cousin. My first cousin is a Duxi teacher, shout out to her. We are only 1 year apart. And obviously, you know, as like every Somali family, I'm always gonna get compared to the Duxi teacher.
Yep.
And so I used to look at her, just her humbleness, her love for the deen. the way the people loved, like, how people loved her in the neighborhood. And you always, obviously, you go back to, like, when Allah loves you, the people on the land love you too and praise you and stuff like that. And I used to look at her and I used to be like, why do you like all of these things? Like, what drives you here? Like, you're standing here, fam, I'm tired, I'm hungry all day, I fasted, you know? And she's like, you see, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I can't tell you what drives me, right? Allah is a turner of hearts. So if you want something, you want to have a connection with him, if you want to taste the sweetness of this religion, you know, Allah knows what's in your breast. He knows what's in between the breast. You know, some people could just speak about it. Some people will say something and feel something different in their heart. Aren't we all humans? Have we not said something before that wasn't in our heart?
Of course.
You know? And so you need to want to seek the benefits of Ramadan. You know, a lot of people are like, fam, Ramadan's coming, Ramadan Mubarak, and 10 days in, they're like, fam, it's just going, and I just caught 2, like, and it's not about being your best, but it's just wanting to do your best, you know? I've never felt like, I said to the people all the time, I lived on this earth for 30 years, and I think I've only had 3 great Ramadans. And that's the last 3 years of my life when I feel like I've tasted the sweetness of Ramadan. From my point of view, it's just what drives you. So you have to look at your drive, you have to look at your moral compass, and then you're going to start really seeing why the people were making da'at to reach this month and why people wanted it to be accepted so much. Because it's just a story if you don't feel it, you feel me?
The facts. You spin facts.
We got really deep about the Ramadan and how it's important. So we decided that on this episode, we're not going to do a spotlight. We're just going to move into the glad tidings to the believer.
So our glad tidings for today is whoever of you witnesses the month shall fast it, but whoever is sick or on a journey, then a number of other days. God desires ease for you and does not desire hardship for you, that you may complete the number and celebrate Allah for having guided you so that you may be thankful.
That's very deep. That goes into exactly what you were talking about how that Allah is the turner of hearts, and we're talking about all the different things that we can do this month and how important it is to have that intention, because without the right intention, nothing really works. So you could get lucky, you know. Same thing, like, you know, some people you could say that like Nike says, just do it, right?
Yep.
But you could also bang your head against the door, and either the door is going to open or your head's going to crack. But my bet's on the door. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah. Depends how big your head is. I feel like it's going to take a lot still. Okay.
Yeah. Either you're going to be successful in this world and the next, or you're going to be unsuccessful in this world and the next. So you gotta really believe that you're going to go to heaven. You got to believe that you're going to be forgiven. So just like I said, like, imagine being in heaven and you go next door to your neighbor's house and you see Michael Jackson. You tell him, teach me how to do the moonwalk. Then somebody's calling you over a house down. You walk over, it's Mike Tyson. You're boxing with Mike Tyson, right? Then you could, after that, you walk over, you see some luxurious green couches. You go sit down. Who are you sitting next to? Dave Chappelle. You're having a roast session with Dave Chappelle. You know?
Dave Chappelle's alive.
Huh?
This is heaven.
Oh.
This is heaven. Do you know what heaven is?
Damn. Anything.
So,
She said Dave Chappelle's alive, but she didn't say Michael Jason's dead. She was
No,
Mike Tyson's alive too.
Are you
How
sure?
about Mike Tyson?
Okay, sorry. I don't follow Mike Tyson.
yeah. So,
Man.
you know, and you imagine getting the opportunity. Imagine getting the opportunity to sit down with
Kylie
Prophet Muhammad,
Irving
peace
too.
be upon him, right?
Yeah.
But that is, none of that stuff is in comparison with the opportunity to see your Lord's face.
Absolutely.
Because let's be real, that's your creator, you know, and that's a beautiful journey, and that's a beautiful experience that inshallah all of us get to experience.
Inshallah.
And now let's talk about the special event that we have.
So, you know, as a podcast, you know, we've had a long season. You know what I mean?
Eventful.
Very eventful. We had a lot of laughs. You know what I mean?
Great moments.
A lot of tense moments. A lot of good, bad, and ugly. You know what I mean? As they say. But, you know, one thing we all always agreed on is that what we want to do is give back and benefit people. We don't do this just for ourselves. We do this to help people out. We do this to give a voice to the voiceless. We do this to, you You know what I mean? Just speak for the people. You know what I mean? So we've come up with an idea that inshallah we'll be making a flyer for and letting you guys know at the end of Ramadan, inshallah, but for Eid.
Just to uplift each other's spirit.
Yeah.
I feel like we've had this is going to be our second Eid indoors.
Yeah.
So we kind of wanted to come together as a community. And what better way to come together than the best day of the year and have a little Eid drive. And you'll be seeing the flyer quite soon and seeing who's going to be a part of our initiative. And whoever wants to assist us, you could always hit us up on our social media platforms. This is going to be a group effort. So
Yeah.
we take any type of help.
Any help, like any volunteers, if you want to help us out, if you want to connect with us, if there's anybody that wants to collaborate, whoever it may be, we're always open to that. So, inshallah, what we're going to be doing is we're going to do a community give back on Eid Day to Muslim families. So, this is not to just Somalis. Yeah, even non-Muslims. If it could be a form of da'wah, you know what I mean? A
Absolutely.
chance for people to understand what we do and what Islam is all about. So we're gonna bring back the joy of Eid, and on that day we're gonna be giving away toys. We're gonna be giving away food. We're gonna be giving away things that will just make your Eid a better day and bring back the joy of Eid, because Eid is a special day. Eid is a day of celebration. And we want to bring back the fun. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to bring back the fun. Watch out for us. Flyers will be coming around. We're going to be having it up on our social medias. And anybody that likes to help and wants to do anything, hit us up. You know where to find us. This is Unfinished.
And we're not finished.
Yeah.
And we're not finished.
Ramadan
I got a
Mubarak, you
question
guys.
for you guys.
What's up?
You know how life is a marathon, right?
Yep. Shout out to Nipsey.
Yep. Who is the best long distance runner in the world?
Me. I thought it was between three of us. How you go? I don't know. I don't watch it.
Is it Mo
Between
Farah?
three of us?
It's Mo Farah.
No, it's not.
It is Mo Farah.
Yeah, he's
I
the
thought it was
greatest
making you-
long distance runner in history.
I thought it was a Jamaican.
Nah, that's not Usain Bolt. He's the fastest.
Don't you think I should end the series like that? Would it make any sense if I let you guys
No,
think
you're
it's something else?
hilarious. You're hilarious. I'm not gonna lie. That was a good one.
Go ahead, no
I
man.
didn't expect that.
That's it. That's how we're ending the season, I guess, right?
We're ending the season.
Keep us in your prayers. Ramadan Mubarak. Please be safe. I know right now that even if you're here in Somalia, you guys, the pandemic is hitting crazy over there. Keep them in your donate. Keep them in your du'as.
And yeah, we had a great season. You know what I mean?
Had fun,
I
yeah.
appreciate these two. You know what I mean?
I had a great time. One
No
against
man,
two, but
Bella.
I'll only take them.
She's gonna say it's 1-on-2 forever, but clearly sometimes it was 2-on-1, 3-on-nothing. There was times we're all on one team. She doesn't want to remember those times. She wants to remember the times we were all against her.
Oh,
but
God.
you know, this is family.
Family.
You know what I
We had a
mean?
great experience.
We had a great time. We enjoyed everybody that tuned in. We appreciate you, every single one of you, wherever in the world you are. Thank you. We appreciate you. It was a good time, and this is Unfinished, and this is our season finale.
Boom.
Good night.